Hey, this is John Hoeschele again from the Cortland Rural Cemetery Board of Trustees. It's the same evening as my woodchuck installment. It's May 7th, 2013. Another problem that we contend with here at the cemetery, in addition to cutting grass and all the other things we have to do with our limited staff, is maintain the water supply. There's several spigots located throughout the cemetery for people to water plants and the shrubbery around their headstones. As you can imagine, it's a pretty extensive plumbing network outdoors. Lots and lots of distance between the main supply or the main line to get up here on the hill. And as a consequence of that, several of them don't work. These things were probably installed 30, 40 years ago, maybe even longer. And when you're running plumbing outdoors for that long, that can pose problems, breakages with the frost cycle and all those kinds of things. So, and of course we do what we can to turn them off in the winter and winterize them, but of course it's kind of an uphill battle despite that. So I'm going to show you an instance where one of them is working, but you can see some water bubbling up out of the ground, which means there's probably a break somewhere in the supply line. And I'm going to share with you an idea I have for maybe contending with that in the future. Thanks. Okay, as I indicated, this is section M of the cemetery, and right below the sign, we also need signs, by the way, there is a spigot which is working, which is a good thing. Not all of them do in a cemetery, and we know that people have to walk a great distance to get their water cans filled up, and we think that's pretty unfortunate, as well as the people who have to deal with that. But and of course, ironically, there's also a woodchuck hole next to it. So three things in one photograph. Signs we need because they're always falling down, woodchucks, and water. Anyway, so what I wanted to show you though was the fact that our guys just turned on the water supply this a week ago. It's early May, so we know that there's not going to be any more deep frosts. But you can see the water is essentially bubbling up out of the ground, which suggests to me that there's a break in the supply line. That's going to result in a water charge, of course, and we'll try and fix it as soon as we can. But it's also indicative of the fact that we've got all these underground water pipes that are running up the hill, and they're probably in all kinds of bad shape. So I guess what I'll share with you next, flip the camera around, is what the idea I have for maybe reconciling this issue. So just bear with me, thanks. Okay, so the thought I have as far as the water goes. So surely we could get some help running new lines or digging up these lines and seeing if we can repair them. Of course, that's a huge cost for either some organization willing to help us out on that front, or it's just frankly impractical in this day and age, given the shortage of refunds or resources that we have. So my thought is, I wonder if there's a way in this green era where we could put together a series of cisterns or rain barrels to collect water, so that we could use that for watering plants, etc. Maybe they could be located at strategic points throughout the cemetery. Obviously, you don't want it to become a health hazard where they're becoming infested with mosquitoes, etc. But I know there's a technology out there that would help us collect the water from collection points, obviously, and then folks could use those for watering their plants and whatnot. And I'm sure there's a way to lock them up so that plants or mosquitoes, etc., and bugs wouldn't get in there. So, if anybody has some thoughts or technology or some donation ideas on that front, please do contact us, and we'll see if we can work with you to solve the problem, or maybe we can do a prototype to see if it works in the first place, and then if it does, we could implement it across the cemetery. Again, thanks for bearing with me on this video. I'll probably do more because, like I said before, there's a lot of need along these fronts, but I appreciate your watching. Thanks, bye.